Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestle Network. Today's going to be a talking out video talking about The Undertaker and talking about him potentially going into the Hall of Fame. So, if you haven't heard by now, today Sting was inducted to the Hall of Fame, so most likely the match between Undertaker and Sting is not going to happen now because, as we know, Sting needed basically surgery like with his neck and spine, so. Yeah, it doesn't look like Sting's gonna come back because that's a pretty serious injury. Even if you did come back, you can really mess up your body. So I'm happy Sting decided not to come back. I wouldn't want the dude to be paralyzed. That's pretty serious shit he had happen to him in the match with Seth Rollins. I'm kind of mad that they didn't use Sting to the potential they should have used him. Like, nobody wants to see Sting versus Seth Rollins. It was funny the promos they did, but we want to see the matches we wanted to see. So let's talk about this. So they were saying Undertaker was supposed to have one final match in the WWE against John Cena. Well, that doesn't look like it's going to happen now because John Cena messed up his shoulder and he needs surgery on it, and there's a 6 to 12 month period for him to be out. So he's definitely going to miss WrestleMania, and that was the rumored match. Even TMZ was saying it was supposed to be a rumored match, and that's definitely a pretty big source, even though, TMZ you're not too sure about. And I heard it from other big promotional YouTube companies. But again, who knows? But that's what I heard. I really wouldn't know how the storyline would be with this match. Basically, when John Cena debuted in WWE after facing Kurt Angle in the back. He had Undertaker giving John Cena his respect by shaking his hand. So, it'll probably be a match about respect and these two guys that haven't really faced each other. So, that's basically what it is. And maybe Undertaker passing the torch in a way, but kind of already happened. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really make sense what they could do with a storyline besides respect. But that was the rumored match that was supposed to happen at WrestleMania, Undertaker versus John Cena. So there's rumors of Undertaker being inducted in this year's Hall of Fame. So yeah, and there's rumors that he's retired now. So there's really nothing else for the Undertaker to do. Like, none of the matches would make sense now. There's nobody left on the WWE roster for him to face. It's all new talent now. So am I happy with the Undertaker retiring? Yes. Am I happy with Sting retiring? Yes, because I don't want to see Sting end up being paralyzed. And there's really nobody on the roster for him to face. The only person that would make sense was Triple H before, and The Undertaker, and Undertaker wasn't healthy enough before, and just didn't come at a good timing between both parties for The Undertaker and Sting to face each other. It is what it is, what happened, and it's very unfortunate that it happened because that would definitely be one of the biggest matches in WWE history and probably be one of the top matches that would ever happen. Even though both of these guys are really in their age, it still would have been a good match and they both could have still put on a pretty good show. So it is unfortunate the way it happened, but what are you going to do? So Undertaker going into this year's Hall of Fame, I'll be happy if they do that. There's nobody for him to face again. Everybody's basically done that was on the roster when Undertaker was on. I really don't want to see him go up in against anybody in the new generation of wrestling. Basically, they had him go up against Bray Wyatt. It really wasn't a good match. I thought they could have done a lot better stuff. Bray Wyatt really doesn't have the gimmick like The Undertaker does. You seen Bray Wyatt trying to like play mind games, mess with the pyro, mess with the lights and all that. It's just not the same. And you ask me, it's kind of boring. Hopefully, they can improve his character because he definitely has the character to do it. But that's their choice that they want to do it. And if they're looking for somebody else, that could potentially have a character like that. Why don't you look at Baron Corbin? You know, that dude's been in NXT for a while now, and he definitely has the kind of character that can pull something like that off, you know, like a spooky character. You know, they just gotta look at that kind of stuff. You know, I hear Baron Corbin doesn't move up from NXT because he doesn't really have the mic skills, which kind of makes sense. But, you know, hopefully you can work on that, you know, because it is a big thing when you move up to the WWE. If you don't have that, they're going to push you down and eventually you'll become a jobber. You know, that's what I was talking about, like Adrian Neville. I really don't think he has the mic skills. He can wrestle his ass off, but no mic skills, so why push him up, you know? That's what happens to a lot of these superstars. They don't have the mic skills, and that's a big thing you need. You know, you won't get pushed up at all if you don't have that. You know, you can be athletic as you can, but if no mic skills, you won't be able to do anything, you know? For me, Finn Balor, I think he'll be a huge name. You know, he does incredible moves, very athletic, and he's pretty good on the mic. So, you know, I see him being huge. So, only time will tell with that. But yeah, Undertaker potentially going to this year's Hall of Fame, and you know, Sting getting news that he is, you know, he's done with wrestling. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame makes sense. You know, of course, I would love to see that match, but I really wouldn't want to see Sting go crippled, you know. If you have a spinal injury, that's something not to mess with, you know. At least you gave us a match in the WWE, and I'm happy with that. So, share your thoughts, guys. Do you want to see Undertaker retire? To me, I think it's time. You know, there's nobody else for him to really face. Are you guys happy with Sting going into the Hall of Fame, which means he's basically done with WWE, retired? You know, probably play some backstage things, and maybe he'll be like a trainer for the talent, you know, kind of like Dusty Rhodes is, and like a backstage talent to develop these superstars, you know. Sting definitely could do that, you know. His character's really awesome, so that would be a great mind behind the scenes of WWE. Same with The Undertaker. Definitely, both of those guys would be huge. So yeah, they could definitely help train superstars and also be like a big thing on the creative team for WWE. You know, that would be huge right there. Now talking about again like the next top superstar in the WWE to be like a big name like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, The Rock, to have a character like that, you know? The person that I think had the most potential in doing that was CM Punk, you know. He had the wrestling skills, he had the mic skills, and he had the bad heel gimmick and the good heel gimmick. You know, he could do it all. So that's who I think definitely had it out of anybody on the roster that was left. Probably CM Punk, you know. Now he's gone doing his UFC thing. I heard that he's supposed to be debuting soon. Then I heard things are not going well and he's talking with the WWE. To me, it doesn't seem like he'll ever return to the WWE. Maybe he'll return to some kind of wrestling program, but WWE know there's too many bad things with him in the WWE to make that happen. But you know, CM Punk was definitely a big name in WWE and as a wrestler to compare to Stone Cold, Undertaker, The Rock, you know, etc. But let's talk about out of WWE now going up, who could be a big name like that? To me, we saw Tyler Breeze recently go up. You know, he can wrestle. He does have the mic skills, but the thing that lacks with him is kind of with Dolph Ziggler. They're not that really like an image of a wrestler. You know, they're not like an image of the Undertaker, The Rock, Stone Cold to be mentioned as like a main card superstar. You know, they have everything else there is to have but the look. So that's a huge thing too that a lot of superstars do not get. They could have the mic skills, you know, they could wrestle, they just don't have the look, you know. They're like a cruiserweight basically, what I'm trying to say. Or they just don't have the look at all all to get like pushed up to the next top level. So thinking of a superstar that could potentially be huge to me is definitely, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Apollo Crews. That dude is pretty cool. Like watching Breaking Ground saying saying you had to have some kind of new finisher that would make people say, "Whoa," and then Triple H saying that he believes in Apollo Crews to be one of the huge next top WWE talents, and I do agree with that. The dude's really good, kind of looks like Bobby Lashley, but he's a much better wrestler, and he's pretty good on the mic too, so that's a big thing too. He basically puts the guy up on his shoulders, like throws him into like a 360 spin, grabs him in the air, and power bombs him. That's pretty cool. So out of those three superstars, I definitely see them being one of the next top talents, like Undertaker, Stone Cold, Rock. That's what I see them because they have the look. A lot of these other superstars really don't. I'm not too sure about Finn Balor either. He looks cool in NXT, but when he gets to WWE, what will they do with him? But out of those three superstars right there, they had the look, they can wrestle, and they had the mic skills. You know, that's just three people I'm going to mention right now. There's probably some others that I can mention, but, you know, that's who I'm going to mention. But yeah, I definitely see those three superstars being huge in the WWE. So let's talk about Monday Night Raw. So, as we know, the ratings been going down, so WWE needed to do something to improve it. So what do? They have Vince McMahon come back on live television and have an angle with Roman Reigns kind of being racist. It is funny. Does it go a little bit too far maybe, but you need stuff like that in the WWE again. So I do like that with Vince McMahon coming back and him getting arrested was pretty funny too. They need stuff like that on Monday Night Raw. That's what I was saying. Maybe have a GM come back or something like that and still have the authority on Raw. Have something like that and maybe have the authority do more stuff like that and have angles like that with the authority instead of Vince McMahon or have somebody with angles like that. Superstars getting arrested, superstars getting attacked in the back. You need stuff like that on Monday Night Raw. And they're wondering why their show is not really getting ratings. It's always matches and interviews. There's really nothing between that. And again, rush, rush, rush. Nothing goes in between the matches and getting planned really well. And for like an action scene, all they do is have the wrestler go in the ring and talk on the microphone and maybe get confronted and attack the superstar. That's all that happens. They need to improve it by like having backstage attacks, like funny scenes with other characters in the back of the stage, and do stuff like that, really bring the product out more and definitely would increase your ratings. So they just need better like thinking of their show instead of the last minute and just throwing stuff together. They need to like plan a week ahead and actually have people that know how to write the show pretty good you know? So that's how my opinion on Monday Night Raw, and that's the only thing I watched on Monday Night Raw because the rest was boring. I just watched the angle with Vince McMahon and Roman Reigns. I just fast forward through the rest of the show because it was boring as fuck. And that match was pretty funny with Vince McMahon as the special guest referee. Like every time he would count Roman Reigns, he would pretend there was something wrong with him, like pretending his age was catching up with him, saying, "Oh, my eye hurt." Stuff like that's funny, and definitely things like that can improve the show in doing it with other superstars. Alright, last thing before we end this video, talking about the Divas and talking about how it can improve in the future going on, and I do see it improving in the next 2 years, but one thing they can definitely add is tag team titles for the Divas. I think that's huge. They have a lot of Divas, and by doing that, they can put them on the show and have a role for them in the show. There's a lot more to talk about in the Divas division, but that's another video because it's going to be long. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It was only supposed to be about Sting and The Undertaker, but added all this in this video, which is pretty good anyway. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Comment about anything that I mentioned in this video. As always, thanks for watching and have a good day.